Hello and welcome to the Triple System EA setup. Just going to quickly go through opening an account and downloading the MT4 platform for those of you that may be beginners, and also how to install the EA, and then we'll get on to how we can use the EA to make profit from the Forex market. Okay, so as you can see here, I've opened a demo account quickly with ETX, which is the recommended broker. If you go to mt4live.info, that will take you straight through to the page. You can click a open demo account to open a demo account. It gives you the option to open a live account there. Or if you stay on this page, eventually, for some reason it's not loading correctly, will show with the information that you need to put in to open a demo account here. Okay, so once you're logged in, you've got your password, you'll get this screen which has got all your accounts on, and you can download the MT4 platform. Okay, so you download the MT4 platform as such. It's just logged me out because I've been there for a while, and you'll get the ETX Capital 4 setup in your downloads, and you click on the exe file and simply run the MT4 setup wizard. I'll just go through that quickly. That's installing on the platform. I've got a few monitors here, so things do pop up on other monitors, but I'll drag them across if they're relevant to the training video that we're doing here today. Okay, click on finish. Automatically signs you up to MQL5, which is a programming and forum site for mainly for programmers, really. And once we're up, you should have a shortcut on your screen pop up as well, and also you will get the platform will open as well. So I'll just move this across because it's not. See if it will let me move the platform across here as well. Okay, it won't let me move the platform across from the other monitor, which is it's fine, not a problem. Okay, so you log in with your existing demo account details there, and your password, and then you can log into the account, and we can load up the EA in there as well. Okay, so once you're logged in, well, it should then give you the platform, which I'll just show you here for a second. Okay, if you're not familiar with MT4, it can be a little bit daunting. There's quite a lot of information and tools there that you need to sort of be aware of, but we'll go through the ones that you need for the EA, and then anything else will be available in the Education Centre on the main website. Okay, so let's okay, so I just quickly went back there and logged in as a demo account user, because I wanted you to see what happens the first time you log into an account. You'll be confronted with these blank screens saying wait for an update. What you actually need to do is drag the currency pair that you're going to trade across. Now in this case, we're actually going to use the Euro US dollar for the EA on automation, and this is for the trial period, for the 30-day trial, because you'll only receive the EA which trades on the Euro US dollar. There are slightly different settings, although they will actually work on the other currency pairs. The profit is reduced unless you have the correct settings for the other currency pairs. So we're going to go through basically what it is you need to know for the trial period, and then when you have full access to the website and the full EA, then there obviously is an additional user guide which takes you through everything there. This is really just to get you started so you can experience the EA. Okay, so once you've had the email from myself with the EA in there, you can download that. The email will look something like this with the EA attached to it, and you can download that into the folder where your the correct platform for your trading platform. Okay, so you download that into the correct folder. Just seeing where that demo account is that I just opened has gone into, so just bear with me a second whilst I look for that. I've got various. Okay, so it's in ETX, so you can see what I did there. Went into program files, which is where your thing will download into program files. You look for the name of the broker there, ETX, then click on MQL4, and then you see all these different options here as well, and you see there you'll have experts as well. Okay, so you click on experts, and they're just going to that's where you're going to download that folder to. Okay, as you can see there it says file name Triple System EA, and we're going to save that to that folder as there as well. Okay, you'll also receive the email another folder which is called init checks. Okay, also very important that you download that as well into the MQL4 folder. So again, find where it's been downloaded to, which will be in your local disk program files. Again, look for the ETX Capital into MQL4, and then where it's got include there, you've got include folders, and then we're just going to download that into there. In this case I've already downloaded, so I'm just going to cut and paste it from another platform. Okay, so it's in there. You need to have that folder, otherwise the EA won't run. Okay, so now we've got our folders in the correct place. The platform, you'll notice now when the EA is installed, it will come in, it'll be in this list of expert advisors here. Now as you can see, it hasn't got in there because the platform's open. So if I close the platform down, and then hopefully when I reopen it, and you can reopen it, as you can see, you have a shortcut would have appeared on your desktop, so you can just click on that and open the ETX Capital MT4 platform, and you can see it is installed there now in the expert advisors. Now we've got that loaded up. What we're going to do is we're going to drag it across to the Euro US dollar. Don't forget, we're only looking to trade on the Euro US dollar with the demo version. As you can see here, we need to click on common first of all. Make sure you've got allow live trading clicked on and allow DLL imports. I've just realised here that my auto trading isn't clicked on, so this is probably going to say, and it comes up with a little message box here saying you need to enable auto trading. Now what this will do, if you've missed something like this, it will give you a warning. You'll have a frowny face there because the EA is not happy, and then if you click OK, you'll see that it will uninstall the EA. So you just need to click auto trading first, make sure you've got the green arrow, and then again drag the EA across the chart. Okay, common, make sure you've got enable alerts, allow live trading, allow DLL imports is very important, and then if you go to inputs folder, now this is where you've got your three strategies. Okay, so we'll go through these are the different various things. We'll go through them quite quickly because again you've got the demo version here, so this is really set up for you to run on the Euro US dollar on automation. Okay, now the whole idea of the Triple System EA is that it can be used on automation, and it can also be used with manual intervention. Now what that means is you can wake up in the morning, what will happen if you subscribe to the analysis and signals service that we offer. We will post in the evenings what currency pairs we're looking to place the Triple System on, and which strategy we tend to use for the next 24 hours. Now, like I say, it can be an automated system. It can run on complete automation with no intervention whatsoever from yourselves, but you can you can profit more by using it alongside with a manual, a daily intervention on there. But as I said, for the trial period, we want you to see how it runs on automation, so that you can decide if you, and especially if you're a beginner trader, then you'll want to see how it makes money before you get in and get more involved with it. So we've got use breakout strategy here. You can see the value here. It's set to true, which means that strategy is active. Okay, now this is the title there, breakout trade settings. So we've got the settings here. We've got the stop loss. Now this is set to 50 pips, which is which is the typical for the euro US dollar. We've got the take profit there at 500 pips. Now it seems quite big, and it is, and it generally won't go 500 pips, but we use a trailing stop loss on this, which means the stop loss will chase up the chart and go with it. So now minimum set initial lot size. Okay, now this is the side of trading positions you're going to trade. Now on the ETX platform, 0.1. Now this is £1 a pip, okay, or $1 a pip if you're trading in the US. Now I recommend I trade basically 10 cents per £1,000, okay, or less. If you're trading less than £1,000, then I would only use 10 cents, which would be or 10 pence, which would be 0.01. If you're using more than that, as you can see, the equity on this account is nearly 10,000, so we're trading at £1 a pip, which is 10 pence per 1,000. Okay, so now I set a minimum lot size. Now this is really for the martingale strategy. We need to set this to stop it from dropping below the initial lot size when it does its mathematics. Okay, so I set that as the same as the initial lot size. Okay, now we've got here a setting which is increase lot size with equity increase. Okay, now we've got this set to true. You can obviously change this if you like. And now what this does is, as the EA starts to profit, for instance, when it gets to 11,000 on the balance here or in the equity, then the lot size will automatically jump up to 0.11. Okay, so it will add an extra 10 pence to the trade that you're trading there. You can see it's set there to 1. Now obviously I can change that if I wish. It could jump up for every £1,000 profit that we make. It could jump up £1 in profit. But as I say, I trade with a low risk ratio, and I trade at 0.10 pence. So that's what we're going to get set to. Obviously you can disable that. You can just take it to false if you wish to set the lot size is yourself, or for it not to increase as you wish. Maximum trades allowed for this strategy. Okay, so the EA will, every time the signal is reached for this, in this case it's a breakout strategy, so whenever it makes a new high or a new low over a certain amount of period, and when it gets that signal, it will open a trade. Now obviously if it keeps making new highs and it keeps making new low, or it keeps making new lows, it will keep opening extra trades. So you want to limit that to a couple, two, or I would say one, to start with, just to see how it runs. You can increase it to 2 or 3 if you wish, if you want to add positions to your profitable trades. That would be a way to do it. Is hedging allowed? So obviously if we're in a buy trade, do we want to be able to open a sell trade if it's going against us? Again, you have a choice here of true or false. Now the default for the demo here and the trial period is true. Now close a trade when opposite signal is true. Okay, it kind of defeats the object of hedging here. Is hedging allowed? Because obviously it would close, this would override, and it would close the trade on the opposite signal anyway. So it wouldn't matter if this was set to false and this was set to true. You'd have the same effect. It would be different if you set this to true and set this to false, because then it wouldn't close the trade on the opposite signal, and it would open a sell trade and keep them both running at the same time. So we'll set those both to true as the default. Okay, break even settings. This means when the trade starts to get into a little bit of profit. In this case, you can see it's set to true, which means it will allow that system to have a break even. And it says how many pips before you move. So it'd be 25 pips in profit. Okay, and then when it's 25 pips in profit, it will move the stop loss so that it locks in 1 pip. Okay, so straight away you've made a profit there. As soon as it's 25 pips, you know that you're not going to lose any money at that stage. Okay, now the next feature, use a trailing stop loss. Okay, we have that set to true. Now there's 2 different types of trailing stop loss here, which we'll briefly go through. We have regular, which basically sets, you can see here the regular trailing stop loss, how many pips profit before trading begins. So again, 25 pips, and how many pips stop loss should you trail by? It'd be 50. Okay, so straight away when it hits 25 pips profit, it's going to break even anyway, and then 25 pips after that, it's going to start trailing with a 50 pip stop loss. So 50 pips behind the price is the stop loss is going to chase after after the price there. Okay, then we've got a candle stop setting. Like how many candles do you want to look back? So whichever one you set this to, this one is set to regular, so it's going to use these settings here. If you set it to, as you can see, you can change it here to candle. If you changed it to candle, then it would use these settings here, candle stop loss. Now the candle stop loss, how many candles do you want to look back? It says 20. So it basically, if I just move this across, you can see it charts. Let's say, for instance, we've got a sell trade going on here. It would look back 20 candles, okay, and then it would place a stop loss above the 20th candle. And you can choose how much beyond the candle you want to put the stop. In this case, it's 10 pips. So let's say candle 20 is here. The stop loss would be 10 pips behind that. So every time a new candle forms, then the candle where the stop loss is moves across, and the stop loss moves with it. Okay, so it's beneficial on long trends, and obviously when you're in the middle of a trade and it's winning, you can change the stop loss settings to whichever one you want when you reload the EA. That's fine, it will pick up on the same trade. Okay, how much candle stop to put out? We've done that. Slippage. Now this is really a thing for the brokers, so and for the expert advisor. Well, if the price is moving extremely quickly during a news alert or something, and if it gets 30 pips away from where we were supposed to enter the trade, then it won't enter. Now this here, used to identify the trades for this strategy. Because there's 3 strategies on one EA, we need to be able, the trading system needs to be able to identify those trades, and it has a basic arithmetic which it does, and we have a seed number which is 1,000, and it will use some various maths to give a different number for each trade, so that it can identify those when it comes to moving stop losses and stuff like that. So again, default settings on here, you'll never need to change that, but the option is there for advanced users. Now martingale. Martingale is basically when you have a losing trade, it will increase the lot size in order to recuperate the loss and to make a profit on the next trade. Now martingale is sort of perceived quite skeptically in the forex trading world. A lot of people use it to show extremely good results when they're selling such things as EAs and indicators, when in fact they can be extremely dangerous if not used correctly. So we'll spend a little time on this here. Now it says here set above 1 to use martingale. So at the moment this is saying that we're not going to use martingale, and the lot size is not going to increase if we have a losing trade. If I was to set that to 2, then it would increase, it would double the lot size. So if we started off trading at £1 a pip, we had a losing trade, then the next trade that opened on this strategy, it would trade at £2 a pip. If it lost again, then the next trade after that would be £4 a pip, and you can see how that can quickly rise. If you have 3 or 4 losing trades on a run, that can be quite dangerous. You need to be aware of your lot size and how much equity you have in your account when using this. And just to give you a brief idea, for this strategy I tend to use 1.4. okay, so it's going to increase 1.4. so let's say we have a trade £1 a pip and it loses, and the next trade will be at £1.40 a pip instead of £2, so it will just increase it slightly. Now to make martingale a little bit safer, I've added a maximum lot size. Okay, so this here you can see will only go up to 2.0, which is £20 a pip, and then it won't allow any more increases, and it will in fact reset to the original lot size. Now over a period of time of testing, the amount of losing trades, consecutive losing trades that we've had on the system, on automation, that's how we've come up with the number there. So obviously if you decrease your initial lot size here from 0.1 to 0.01, then you also want to decrease your maximum lot size allowed for the martingale. I would also decrease that by a decimal down to 0.2. So you're only allowing, from starting off trading with 10p a pip, you're only allowing a maximum lot size of £2 a pip. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Now this is something you really need to understand. If you're not sure, then I would Google martingale strategy just to double check that you understand the system and how it works, because if used incorrectly it can empty your account very quickly, so be careful of that. And as I said, this is the demo version. There's the settings here are default. This is what the settings that you'll have when you load the EA. So again, if you're trading on a demo, trade it with 10,000 balance. If you're using real money and you've got £1,000 or less, then I would reduce this right down to martingale, so your maximum is 0.2, and obviously your initial lot size is 0.01. Okay, so how much profit must be taken before martingale resets? This gives the option that if you're using a trailing stop loss where we are, we want to recuperate the stop loss, the amount that we've lost on the previous trade. So for instance, if we were trading at £1 a pip and we've got a 50 pip stop loss, then we know that we've lost £50 on the last trade. So we know that we want to make at least £50 on the next trade before the martingale strategy resets. So let's say on the next trade it only makes £30 profit, then the martingale will still keep going up, so it will increase again by 1.4 until we get a profit of over £50. Okay, so that makes sense. On this, the default here is 0.0, so we're not worried about how much profit it makes. As long as it makes a profit, it will reset to the original lot size. Okay, so that's the first strategy. We've now got the second strategy, which we'll go into, which is called the pullback strategy. Now, obviously, it sort of speaks for itself. If a trend has formed on, let's say, a trend has formed on a run here. Let's say, for instance, we've got a bit of a trend coming down, and the price starts to go back on itself before it drops again. Then the EA will enter a trade on this pullback section here if the rules are met. So again, we've got the same sort of lot settings and the same sort of lot sizes here. Again, the default is to have that running as true if you're going to trade it on automation. Oops, gone crazy there. Okay, so pullback strategy. So we've then got the settings. Initial lot size. Again, using here £1 a pip for a £10,000 account. If you're trading at £1,000 or less, I would change that to 0.01. Increase lot size with equity increase. Same settings we had before. Maximum lot size allowed. Again, maximum lot size. This is for the martingale strategy. If you're going to use that. Set minimum lot size, again, should be the same as your initial lot size. These are in a slightly different order from the first strategy there, but mean the same thing. Maximum trades allowed, again, 1 for this. I would keep this at 1 because it's a pullback strategy. Obviously, it will only open one trade unless it keeps pulling back. But the rule suggests that it will only open one trade anyway, unless it has a period of going forward, then coming back again, by which time a trading stop loss would normally have taken you out the trade anyway. So unless it's really set for a different currency pair, this one, but for the euro US dollar, keeping it at 1. Okay, set stop loss for the pullback strategy. Again, this one's 50 pips, and the profit target, we've got 300 pips. This one does actually hit the profit target on occasions, but we do use a trailing stop loss again. Again, we've got the use to identify the strategy. You can see here we've got 1,500 instead of 1,000, so that we've got a different seed number. So the mathematics on this will work out a much different identifying number to the first one. That's called the magic number, if you wanted to know the name there. Okay, set above 1 to use martingale. Now we've actually got martingale set on this as default as ×2. So again, you need to be aware of that. Be aware that if you have a losing trade, it's going to be 50 pips, and the lot size is going to double if you use the martingale. You can reduce this if you want to 1.5 or 1.2 or 1.4, whatever you're comfortable with. I keep this at 2. It has shown the best results, and also the maximum trade there you can see is set at 20 times the initial lot size. Again, if you reduce your lot size down to 0.01, you need to reduce your maximum lot size allowed down to 0.2. Otherwise, if you're trading, say, with £500 and you're starting with 10p, for instance, then you're allowing your martingale strategy to have 200 losing trades and continue to increase the lot size. The system's never had 200 losing trades on a run, and I hope it never does. Obviously we can't predict the future, but in 20 years of testing it's only ever had 5 or 6 consecutive losses, which is why we have these set to what they are. Okay, so moving on to the same sort of reason, how much profit taken before martingale resets? Again, because we've got 50 pips stop loss, we're looking to take £50 again, but the same sort of thing. If you reduce the lot size down to 0.01, then you're going to be looking at only a £5 profit must be taken before martingale resets. Okay, so you just got to be aware that when you're reducing your lot size here, or in fact increasing it, if you're trading with a £100,000 account, then you want to be increasing these figures. Is hedging allowed? Again, on this one, true. Break-even function, the default on this is set to false. We don't want to have a break-even on this one, because testing has shown in the past that that having a break-even does in fact inhibit profit. Trailing stop loss is set to true, and we're looking to trail on this one at 50 pips, and we're looking to trail by 50 pips. So every 50 pips it goes into profit, the stop loss will be 50 pips behind. Okay, and that's the pullback strategy. The scalping strategy, also very simple. This one again, you can in fact, because you're only using a 20 pip stop loss on this one and a 10 pip take profit, so you can in fact afford to be have a slightly bigger stop loss on this one, but again be cautious of the fact that you've got martingale on this strategy as well. If you're going to use a bigger stop loss, let's say for instance you're going to trade £1 a pip on the scalping strategy, and you've only got £1,000 in the account, then I would reduce the martingale down to 1, so that it's not actually martingaling and only doing the profit region. Okay, good win ratio on this one, which is why the risk reward is the opposite way around, because it wins a lot more times than it loses. So the martingale isn't really necessary, and in fact you can take this one off if you so choose, change it down to 1. Okay, is hedging allowed? True. Close up trade on opposite signal we have on here as well, we have that as false. Use the trailing stop loss we also have as false, because we're only going for 10 pips profit on this one. How many pips before trade begins? Obviously that is ignored because the trailing stop loss is set to false. Okay, so that is basically the settings. We click OK, and the EA will load. And there we go. You can see straight away there it's actually taken a trade for a sell on the euro there. As soon as I loaded the EA, obviously those rules, the rules for the breakout strategy have in fact been met, and it's taken a sell trade straight away. Okay, so that is how the EA works. Any problems, obviously you can contact us on support and we'll get back to you as soon as you can. If you're not familiar with VPS, a virtual private server, they are basically used so that you can have your MetaTrader 4 platform running 24/7, which you need to if you're going to use an expert advisor. If the platform isn't open, then obviously the EA can't work. You can use a virtual private server, which is for about $10 a month, so that you can have your computer off and your platform will still be open on the VPS. If you have an excellent computer, no power cuts, and a perfect internet signal all of the time, and you're happy to leave your computer on, then you don't need a VPS, which you might want to do just for the trial period before you start hiring VPS spates. But if you do need VPS, then give us a contact, and we can give you a recommended person or company there to provide you with one. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much for watching. Any problems, like I said, give us a call at support on the email from which you receive the EA from. Thanks for listening.